Udah live kan ya?
Demi Ramadan, aplikasi kita jadikan aplikasi untuk berbagi banyak rasa. Grup arisan, grup bestie.
Lama banget Blit menang deh. Gue mau lihat ini nih. Blit dah, cepat 1020 dah, Blit aja lah. Talon nggak ada perkembangan, cuk. Oh, gue main ini, cok. Kita main ini, cok. Main ini, cok. Nih. Valorante. Apak. Kita mainin ini, cok. Tebak-tebakan. Ini. Duh. For second gak sih? Flashback. No IGL. No IGL Korea bukan. DRX bukan. Sentinel bisa jadi. Davai. No IGL Smoker. Bukan dari Malaysia, bukan dari Korea, bukan dari HyperX juga. Smoker. Ini cok, apa? Si Scary. Bukan cok. Oh, Scary IGL. Cok. Siapa ya? Smoker bisa kemungkinan main Viper. Aduh, gua perlu ngeliat nih gua. Bukan Korea, bukan Thailand, bukan Indo. Oh, Indo nggak ada sih, belum. Bukan HyperX pokoknya. Jadi bukan main freak. Indo belum sih. Xvero emang main ini ya? Estrella bukan Korea pastinya. Xvero Invi. Apa ya? Xvero kali ya. Coba Xvero ya. Viper bukan. Oh, Xvero. David ini IGL ya. Bukan IGL, bukan Indo, bukan Thailand, bukan Malaysia, bukan Korea. RRQ bukan, HyperX bukan, Blit bukan, DRX bukan. Viper, main Viper sama IGL. Viper tapi IGL. Korea bukan Korea. Rossi apa sih? Rossi apa sih? Rossi apa sih? Rossi ini makanya nih, Rossi. Bukan juga sahabat. Pemain smoker. T1 bukan. T1 bukan, Rossi surf. Talon bukan. Berarti antara Jepang, Indo bukan. Jepang. Siapa? Jepang siapa? Jepang. Sugar Zero. Zeta apa sih? Siapa sih Zeta? Bukan IGL. Duh, gue nggak hafal lagi. Dep bukan. Yuran apa sih? Yuran gak sih? Bukan juga. Anjay. Bukan IGL. Global Esport siapa anjir Vipernya? Benkai emang Viper? Bukan, Cok. Bukan main Viper. Lightning Fast coba ya. Lightning Fast. Bener Lightning Fast, Cok. Kita coba main freak. Indonesia bukan IGL. Bukan smoker. Elmimor nggak sih? Sentinel. Sentinel siapa ya? Blasking. RQ bukan RQ, jadi Blasking dong. Kan Sentinel Indo, bukan di RQ. Blasking gak sih? Bukan. Ini mah Executed gak sih? Nah, kita coba main freak lagi. Bukan IJL, bukan Indo. Siapa ya? Udah mulai belum sih? Udah mulai, Cok.
Double geckos, zest.
Okay, I was thinking Darion, but these are hard contrasting compositions between these teams at the moment. This is, I mean, pseudo double smokes, given that you have Viper and the Harbor for Talon Esports. Believe though the breach coming out
double smoke, double
So it means that they just want
initiator,
to stop
double
the
smoke.
push here of Talon, because the thing is, it's going to be the double satchel for a governor coming in, but everyone else has to walk into the site. A well-timed fault line's going to be able to punish that. So the Harbor pick right now for Talon is going to be super impactful in keeping them alive. The high tide for blocking out the vision, and of course the cone to keep them safe from the pepper shots here from lead.
I mean, worth mentioning, this is Zest. I mean, this is another debut. He has never played Gecko. I believe DRX has yet to play Gecko, so he certainly didn't play it with them. This is the first time we get to see him on that pick.
All right, this is the first time we're going to see buying from either one of these teams this year. Let's go over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Chubby Ninja, Kilios, and Asarai. They're absolutely right. I mean, we've got these new looks on some of these teams, as well as, you know, old compositions, but just some new improvements. So how will they look, the new sort of Bleed 2.0 or Talon 2.0 on Bind?
Hold me. There's like so like
hold me.
There's so much going on here. I mean,
it really is.
Yay in his first game on Raze ever. Now he's playing his second game. Darion, his second game ever on Breach. First game for Zest on Gecko, I think. I mean, this is very, very intriguing. You could convince me of a lot of things. Now, Retla is a pretty experienced Cypher player, shifting between that and the Viper as his main agent. So he's probably going to be pretty comfortable, kind of setting up across the map. And Scary taking a chunk of damage. Able to just barely get out of there, but Governor.
Nice, Jay.
Always going fast. He will be able to trade though. Zest just
Zest.
teleporter, although it doesn't really quite work out. I think he did throw out a bit of utility, but with the shots going through, Talon just easily dismisses him.
Yeah, it was a contest by both teams for showers, and Zest tried to, I think he threw the Dizzy through the teleporter, try to get ahead of it, but the lead was, or excuse me, Talon was already falling back, so Retla's gonna have to go pretty huge with his classic.
Boom! Aduh, nggak dapet, cok.
Whiffs the first few shots. Cruz with the frenzy will be able to make quick work of him. Back onto Ye. Able to find the first one. Paint shells refreshed. Not quite in the prime spot to pull out utility though, so falls over to Jit Boys. Now down to the 1-on-2. Darian climbing out the hill off of B-Long. Has to think about where they could be positioned. You always want to check these corners. They could be inside tube. Of course, anticipating hookah or elbow as well.
Such a nasty crossfire that Talon has set up. So difficult to deal with here.
And they're not going to show anything either.
Yep. They have to wait for the tap, right?
Goes in for the fault line just for a bit of security. Running out of time. Talon playing everything to their advantage. Good spray from
NT.
And they will be able to pick up their first pistol today.
Ayo, cepat dah. Aku sama tiga.
Great stuff from Talon. Managing some kind of tricky situations that Bleed is throwing at them and showers. You know, trying to use the teleporters to get behind him. But everything's well accounted for. Yay, in a tough spot there, not expecting someone to get up over tube that quickly. And then that brilliant post-plant defense they set up to really hold that down. Just making sure the aim is good here for Bleed. It's all classics for them. As it's a bunch of Bulldogs and a Ghost for Talon here in their anti-eco. Yay. They're just playing up close. They're trying to hope that they come through this short A angle and that they can just launch their utility and get these classics, get these right clicks to pop. But right now, Talon is nervous, and rightly so after that first round. Pretty aggressive stuff we saw from Bleed, and so they're being very wise to make sure that there is not going to be anything like that again.
Not seeing too much though. All right, sir. Able to get the information. I think he spotted enough players for the call for Talon to head on over onto B. They have to be very careful about Redla inside of Hookah though, especially with the camera as well. So Sky will be sent out along with the guiding light. Doesn't quite catch all too much. Surf spots out the whole lot of them, able to take down the first hit. Easy trade for Ye. Now it's just a bit of that retake.
And all you give up there is the Ghost. So
exactly.
That's really not a big deal here for Talon at all.
It might just be like one of these rounds where we die to the spike. Talon rightfully pushing all the way down halls. You've got that high tide just to block off Hookah. Governor able to spot out so many of them. If he has to, he can always go through the teleporter. A little bit too great for right taste. Darren will be able to take him down. Bulldog afforded over onto Bleed. Ban will be able to cut them down at their torso. Retla. Yeah, why not? Let's just make use of the gun that they gave us.
I mean, you can consider.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but
yeah, just go down. There's might as well go for the upgrade on the rifle anyway. But 3 Bulldogs carried over perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. 4 Talon, yeah, well handled there. Just sort of saying, okay, well, Surf, we're gonna leave you on your own. You've got the weaker gun. The rest of us are gonna go explore B. Wide open. As of course, when you're on all classics, you're kind of expecting your opponent to overstack one side over another. Now Ye going to be going for the early operator. No armor though. He's gonna have to glass cannon it, but it is Ye, so you know, if anybody in the world you're gonna feel comfortable with this, it's certainly him.
It is Ye.
Trying to get him a little bit of help with that Cypher utility to set him up if there's any showers pushed. But a hard hit through short A. It's gonna, Dizzy's gonna catch. Now Talon just gonna be able to brute force their way through, try to get the plant down. Cove up.
Wow.
Spike planted.
Tried to push right into it. Retla will be able to shut down.
Dapat nggak sih dua itu si surfnya dapat dua beneran kan?
How did on the other side of the map as they tried to rotate, the lurk's actually working out great for him as a bit of a solo player. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad just watching the important parts of the site, able to block off lamps. Retla trying to do what he can with some of these rifles that he has. Yeah. What?
Apaan sih?
I think he didn't pick it up.
Oh no.
Ngasih senjata anjir.
Oh no.
Had the idea for it, but unfortunately comes up empty-handed. It's gonna be Talon with the bonus win now. What a way to start out on your opponent's map.
Yeah,
yeah, no, I mean just doing what Bleed did.
Tadi Red Lang ngapain sih ngebuang senjata?
He's coming through and insane. He got that dink on that last bullet before he had to readjust for that second spray.
Bulldog too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Fired up.
And the fact that you're not able to carry the op there is horrific for Bleed. Little mistakes like that tend to snowball because of the way the economy works, because of how expensive that operator is. Now it's just Sheriffs trying to see if they can get the job done.
Alright.
Dapat dua.
Scary with the trade. Now the rest of Talon, you know, they haven't spotted out too many players around Fountain, so it has to be an 8-hit. Retla is prepared, covering it with a bit of flight path over onto a cubby of boxes. Spike planted, just playing it safe for now. I mean, I really kind of like Surf being on this Viper lurk stuff.
Oh, itu molinya si itu. Scary, gue kira molinya ini anjir.
No doubt.
Oh, nggak ada ding, nggak ada.
He's always been one of my favorites to watch from the APAC region back in the day, so exciting to see him on the stage. Retla trying to catch the jiggle out of the cove, not able to do so. Bleed was never able to pick up that Vandal on the other side of the map.
Land up gaming.
Looking to probably die to the spike is what it looks like. I mean, this has been such a chess match here. Retla's got to be so careful. Oh, he gets Governor. He's dropping down.
All right. Still good little pickup nonetheless. Goes towards his alt counter. The rest of them, though, will have to die to the spike. Talon now onward with the 4th. Let's see what Bleed has in store for us on the next. 1 point away from some of these ultimates for Ye and Retla.
Yeah, not enough money available for Ye to go for an operator, so gonna have to go into that Vandal full armor buy, and then one away from the showstopper for him. There is the Thrash available already for Cruz, one away from a Seekers. For Ban, so a lot of ults coming into cycle for Talon pretty quickly. It's just can Bleed get a win here and make it less painful when that does occur. Cypher setup mostly going to be on to B, but a trip always placed in front of A. They're going to use the Thrash, clear some space on the B, use that Cove, really cover it up, the dog as well, to really make sure that front end of B is open.
All right, Governor. There is that alt or picked up, so Bleed definitely aware of this. You've got players kind of transitioning over, but take a look at what's happening on the other side of the map again. I talked about this, it's going to be Surf. If he can lurk, if he can catch at least one, that would be a huge thing for Talon, but wow, Scary picks off his head instead. Now Zest
dapat Zest.
Darren here to support. Wingman just to push them back as well. Spike carrier dropped. Talon has to step on the brakes. They've lost way too much in this little skirmish.
Yeah, nice hold there.
Saving sih banyak duit juga sih.
Still able to find one and get out.
That's
saving. No easy feat. And as Governor and Ban like to try to
panas banget anjing, udah ngidupin kipas.
You don't want to give them that flawless because their economy very, very weak. So if you can do some extra damage, get those alt orbs online. Even if you die, it's totally fine.
Yeah, keep that economy weak, keep that river dry. Make them go into the next round with Spectres, Bulldogs, or anything worse.
Dar.
Making a bit of noise running in. Darren's just completely prepared for it. Ye as well inside his showers. They've got the positions under lock and key. Bleed up on with the first.
What a nice round. What a much needed round there for Bleed to get themselves back in this one. A flawless was just what the doctor ordered. They're able to keep all those guns, keep that economy safe. And, you know, as great as this start was for Talon this time around, you know, that early aggression that Talon showed with just their utility, just trying to fish out for a pick at the front of B, whether it be in the octagon or in hookah, doesn't come through. And Bleed just kind of sits back and lets all that utility be used, and then Talon's in a spot where they have to wait for some of those cooldowns to come back up, maybe get that high tide back going, and none of that's available in time before Zest decides to take matters into his own hands there at the front of B, and then kills all over the map. Scary, able to out-duel Surf. Finally, somebody's able to shut these lurks down. Ye is so deep.
Mati nih Ye.
Showstopper, he's
Dar.
crazy.
Oh enggak anjir.
Heads up duel just snapped onto his hip
Ah.
perfectly. Showstopper for Governor might be able to deal with Ye for the time being, but Scary still available for the trade. Not to mention, Darian is here as well to receive. He's caught towards the front end.
Gelo. Kalau dapat lagi Mandarion. Darion.
Back to a 2-on-2. Spike still down. The rest of the Bleed players
End up gaming si anjim.
but we've got some lineups coming in from Talon. I don't know how long that can hold things off for, though. Retla taps the spike. Moshpit has been sent over. Flushed out of position. But Retla still takes on the duel, gets banned. Low HP, couldn't stay alive. Cruz
Udah
has to
santai aja
confront now.
Retla.
Scary
Hey.
use of the sky smoke to keep himself shrouded in mystery. And Retla just protects his teammate with his gun. It's gonna be Bleed back in 4-on-2.
That's an excellent round for Retla. And now it's every ult, literally every ult for Bleed, because Ye died with the showstopper. So I don't know how in the world Ye just flicks over to that angle like that. That's just years of playing Valorant, great game sense coming through for Ye. But Retla, the way he handled that box was perfect. The way he jumped up, got the spot, jiggled that angle. The smoke was down for Scary to start the defuse, and then he's able to just kind of keep backing away, make it so that Cruz can't just spray the spike carrier down comfortably. Really nicely handled by him.
I love that you point out some of these micro movements. That really shows how Bleed, some of these players individually are able to, you know, create so much impact. Talon now with a quick and fast and furious hit onto the site, though. It's something that perhaps Scary was not able to expect, not able to anticipate.
Dia udah tahu mati ngedelay pakai ulti.
Now, along with the high tide, they've got a lot more cover. Spike trying to go down. Darren sends out the Rolling Thunder.
Nah lo 3 orang bakekok.
Still, the rest of them, though, able to turn around and protect all these Talon players, able to turn the site into a firing range.
That just felt like
Ngancurin
Bleed never
pas
could
udah
get their
buka
comms in a place
POV-nya
where they could
langsung.
really use those ults
Ada
the way they
3
wanted.
orang.
It was too fast for Scary to hold on his own. He did get the orbital strike off, but by that point he was dead right after it came out. So what does it matter? It didn't do anything really other than buy a few extra seconds. Ye's kind of stuck in the garden with an op and trying to do something. Never felt, again, comfortable enough. I thought when the Rolling Thunder come out, that might be the time for Ye to satchel and go for that showstopper.
Masa teori yang ngepick map ini sih kalah.
Really to play together, and Talon's able to isolate a lot of those fights really nicely.
Very well done. Similar plan on a different site this time. It's going to be Governor with a judge, but guess what? It's a bit of a fake as well. The rest of the squad headed towards hookah. Retla still on the B site with his spy camera, though, so he might be able to get a snuff of this. But with a Viper's Pit now.
Alas ya boy, yay.
And then the teleport. It was all a ruse, Bleed. What you going to do now?
Talon's just working this map so nicely right now. Just selling that fake. Not much that Bleed can really do about this. I mean, it's going to take some just absolutely masterful play, but with the economy the way it is, it really should be
saving nggak sih? Wih.
Okay, Retla gets one, he goes down.
Alas ya boy.
Still doable. Timer working against
Saving
them
boy.
for a little bit,
Ya dong.
but they're still trying to go in for that
Masih
fight.
digas.
I don't know about
Thrash.
this.
Alah.
Elbow, shoulder exposed. Easy shot for Governor. Scary down to 9 HP. That ult was wasted.
This, as much as we were crediting Bleed for their well thought out play on Lotus, their map pick a bind, it is looking like a different story. I think that should have been a save.
In my mind, that was like, you know, in GTA when you die and wasted that sound play. But you're absolutely right, Paperton. I mean, it just reminds me of you know, what Jesco used to say back on the VCT desk when she was an analyst, talking about how if you are going to be a great team, you have to beat your opponents on their map picks. And that's exactly what Talon is doing right now. If they can keep this up, they will be able to push over into a third map, and they really could challenge Bleed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I no doubt
Jeda
about it.
waktu.
They're light years
Tempo
ahead of Bleed on this map so
Moretu.
far. I mean, they're reading every move pretty much 100%. You know, yeah, Bleed had a couple good rounds, but other than that, you know, the synergy isn't there for Bleed like we saw in Lotus. The alt combos were, I think, actually, Ye did pull off the showstopper in that round when the Rolling Thunder came through. I just never saw it. It didn't hit anything. So, you know, again, their ability to sort of play off of each other, and Frost is really
Interesting.
yeah, really getting into it, making
Really
sure
animated.
that, yeah, that's the way he is. That's the way he coaches, and you love to see it. He brings a breath of fresh air for sure. A very different attitude, mindset than a lot of other coaches. Very different personality that comes through for him as well. So, you know, Talon definitely reaping the rewards of that coaching style, of the crew's IGLing as well. So far here on
HyperX
Bind,
sama T1.
no doubt about it.
Di sana
They
udah
have
buka
put themselves
anjir.
in a great position.
Beda
take this
4
map
jam
away
ya.
from Bleed.
Trying to stay on top of
Maybe
things,
they
I
do it
think,
in
is
the
really what it is. It was a Bleed timeout. They're just trying to get an idea of how Bleed might want to turn things around. Actually going in for a game plan of their own. You've got the High Tides, you've got the Trailblazer. They're creating a lot of space towards this B site. Surf once more on the lurk, just making sure that he doesn't overstay his welcome all too much. Ye still kind of watching the angle though.
And look how Retla repositioned his trapwire there. Interesting, but Jitboy's not going to be fooled by this push out.
Dapat lagi nih
Retla
Jit Boys.
triggles it. Yeah.
Jit Boys.
Fairline knows not
Mari
to-
mari.
Try too much, he might just lose his head. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad, I mean, look at how Talon are working the
Udah
map, like
mani
you mentioned,
anjing,
Paperton.
masih gerah.
One pick, space gained, Governor having the teleporter available, Surf still in position, but working off of the toxic screen. Ye able to burst him down.
I suggest you move.
There goes the reckoning here.
Wow.
And a man.
All right.
I mean, Retla only had a sheriff. Tough spot for him to be in. Scary, speaking of tough spots, and a very different one. Ye tries a TP. He's going to win that.
Wow. Good shot from Ye.
Winnable anjir,
Oh,
winnable, winnable,
Still though, site has been
winnable.
captured, and then the teleporter play coming in from Talon.
anjay.
Scary as well as Ye, they have to catch up to this, and they
Winnable,
also have to
winnable,
try to work
winnable.
together on it. Ye doesn't have
Ada
that
yang
much
tahu
left.
ya.
And
Ye
Scary
dapat
could just
satu
try to
lagi atau dua. Wah,
use him as a bit of a huge shield,
GG
a bit of
dah.
bait, but now they're
Nice
Oakley
kan?
actually just working off
Winnable,
positions
winnable,
instead, just
winnable.
screws off timing.
Dapat nih skate. Nah, winnable chokes.
Unreal.
Reading them. Knew that there would be a bit of a lurk.
Harus nge-push
Yeah.
bener.
Ye knew that, you know, they
Aduh.
were trying to take position around showers as
Aduh.
well, and just out-timed the Talon players. Jit Boys
Aduh,
has
Scary-nya
caught
yang
up,
mati
able to
duluan.
catch up
Alah.
first. And still incredible, the highest ACS player from the previous map brings his performance over onto the next. Talon stays alive because of Jit Boys.
As good as that was, in a way, for Bleed,
Malah
they were in a
Scary
weaker
duluan yang
economic
mati,
situation,
yang darah
for sure.
banyak.
The end here, Scary has to come full stomping, and that just allows Jitboys to isolate these fights. He just waits. He hears those foot stomping up that ramp, can hold the angle, and that's not really the spot where you want to get caught as Scary, of course. I mean, you don't want to get caught anywhere, but in that position, that means that Ye can't get there in time to help back you up, to make it a trade potentially, and it gives time for Jitboys to reset. So some of those little things make big differences. You can kind of already tell at the beginning when they weren't able to recover that off. Governor diving in with that showstopper, and yeah, wisely, Talon, or excuse me, Bleed is just out.
Timer running out on that fuse. It's okay. Maximum effect. Even spots out the initial tripwire from Retla as well, so that gave him his flight path. Bleed now in for the big retake. And we've got every position covered. High Tide blocks off Market. Got the positions being held. Oh, spotted Governor through with High Tide. Zest takes him down. Now Darren pushing along with him. The shorty will not be able to connect. It's only a good bit of damage. Back to a 2-on-3 as they try to hold down Shower. Surf doing what he can. Cruz able to take down Zest, but then traded off by Darren again. It's going to be down to the Viper's pit, and he tries to spray down Wingman, but that just opens his position up for Scary to knock him out.
Yeah.
Bleed in for a third win.
Thank God that was at half. They were able to get that there. Good trades all around. Everybody kind of doing some really smart stuff. Scary hits an absolutely nasty shot over that box. That's, like you mentioned, just barely able to get a...
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Pull out of place next to that Cascade. And that's probably the real kill that kind of broke things open for Bleed, that allowed them to start flooding onto that retake. Crisscross for the tripwires. Camera, everything at A for the Cypher this time around is they're going to 3-stack over towards B. Zest going to try to control this B long. This has been a kind of a point of contention, I think, for Bleed with this comp. With no Sky, it's a lot harder to deal with this long position. You don't have the Trailblazer, you don't have these deep flashes. Kind of have to rely on using some up close and personal utility to try to get advantages, and we've seen that with Zest, a little bit of success, but mostly it's been a very difficult position for them to control.
He's got the Gecko with the Dizzy though in place of the Sky, trying to make use of it. But at the very least, I mean, Talon just getting a lot of information off of it. Now Governor getting peeked out. He's gonna have to try to back off. The rest of the team knows that they are trying to push up towards A though. So Bleed gonna have to readjust to this. The High Tide comes out, and Talon's pretty much looking for the spike plant. Surf watching the back corners as well. Governor still up around Hookah, being a bit of a menace.
Spike planted.
Cruz able to gun down Ye. Oh, there's that lurk.
Nibalikin lagi ito, ditembak
Going
si
to push
ito
up from the
Angelo
back.
Rookie.
The rest of the Bleed squad gonna have to go up the front as quick as they can. They do have quite a bit of utility to get a bit more space.
Wow.
Still with a wingman available. As long as they can get a little bit more. There it is. Spike defuse should be underway. The rest of Talon gonna have to fight for this now. A big encounter. Cruz trying to stay on top of things, but Scary's just sticking it through. Halfway now. Viper's pit, I mean, no, excuse me, toxic screen. It goes through, but unfortunately, not on time. Scary has stuck the defuse.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe
Tiba-tiba menang itu Scary, anjir.
They're able to just barely find that timing. Love what Governor's doing in this round. Having a much better map so far.
Siya kapan yang nge-defuse, anjir.
And that neural theft is really nice. Look at that. He's just... Scary just knows. He just knows. He's got the mental. He's got that calculator in his head, going, "Yeah, I can stick this defuse. I can eat through this molly. As long as no bullets hit me, it's fine."
I mean, he's managed to kind of stick it close to halfway, and someone already had Surf's attention. So,
Udah lah, Bleed aja yang menang lah ya.
Talon, you know, although they still have the lead, Bleed can definitely come back.
Gua mau nonton HyperX sama.
Right now. It's a very tricky game to be in. Like we mentioned, I mean, the way the Talon are working the map has been working out really well so far. But Bleed are definitely starting to adjust. I mean, in these retakes games, starting to find their way across, especially with Zeth saving that Dizzy, making use of the Mousepad to get more space.
Yeah, they're starting to get their coordination there, and they're waiting for each other a bit more. The patience is a little bit better. Still, though, from the very outset, that rough start might have been too much for them to overcome. We'll see, but you have a lot of ults to play with, and then certainly that's what Talon wanted to talk about. Probably how to see if they can find ways to make sure that they're not going to be putting themselves in bad spots with that orbital strike. You know, how are you going to use your wingman as Cruz to try to bait out potentially an orbital strike or something like that? How are you going to be just a little bit more patient? Darion just waiting. Try to set up a combo play with Zest. Trailblazer comes through. That's a pretty good indicator. There could be some contact on the way, but so smokes in, Ye.
Wow.
I think he knows Surf is there. Something gave it away. We're not sure what. We didn't get to see it on screen.
Tahu ya
A
di
bit of a
sini
stutter
ya.
step, perhaps.
Yep.
Tahu stepnya
Oh,
kah?
wow, that's, that's all Bleed needs. A single peep. There's the pickup. Zest now able to support. Goes in for the thrash. Big connect. Darian takes down Ben. Cruz has to
Gelo.
tuck tail and turn away. Oh, even with the smokes though, although
Sticky,
G-Boys is able to
sticky,
sneak on the
sticky,
site, does he have the angles? Catches the
Sneaky
first onto
taka,
Darian.
tiki taka.
Guess what?
Alah, scary.
Spots the heads. Quick work for Bleed as they bring us to a 5-7 at the end of the first half.
Yeah,
Sneaky,
didn't even have to use
sneaky,
the orbital strike there
anjay,
either. It
boys.
was just very well handled, particularly at that long B angle. So something we mentioned as a point of interest for Bleed on their defender side there was eventually kind of solved.
Ayo, Bleed, menang
They
ya
were
lah.
able to
Towards
find
the
that
end.
Ngantuk nih
combo.
gua.
Yeah, it took a while. But we
Mainnya
got
lama
there.
banget, nggak
I mean, that's the
satset,
big thing
nggak
about
double
mine. You always
gaming.
want to work around the teleporters, and it was clear
Ngantuk,
towards
boy.
the end that that's Talon's game plan. With the high tide, the Trailblazer, Zest started to adjust to it, knowing to save his utility, use it for the right times, and even keep it for the refresh if he needs it for the retake. So very good job for Bleed. But as we head over onto the next round, how does this composition work for the attack? You've got Gecko, you've got Breach, Ray, Yay on the Rays.
Jersey-nya Talon polos banget anjir, cuman garis-garis doang di bahu.
It needs a little work. That early op drop really hurt them. That really set them back a couple rounds.
Kalau jersey-nya
There were a lot
Global
of
Esport
just, again,
kemarin,
the little
abstraknya
things
nggak
can
jelas
snowball
tuh.
out of control in Valorant. Your economy can
Juga
go
bisa
sideways
abstrak
real
kayak
fast
sih.
when things like that start to happen, and then kind of gets in your head a little bit, and you start making some little mistakes with your utility and things like that, and all of
Bleed
a sudden,
gitu-gitu doang, hitam,
it's off the rails.
merah.
Fortunately
Just
for
it.
Bleed, they're able to recover a little bit, but
Itu
Talon's still
doang.
a very, very good attacker side on
Not
Bind.
bad, yeah.
T1
I think the
atau
attention
nih
kind
T1?
of shifts towards
FC
Yay
baru
for
yang
now,
T1.
for me at least, on Bleed's side. If he's able to find some of these entries, because we
Ada
know we've
FC
seen in
baru
the
nggak
past
ada?
that Bleed often goes in for these post-plant setups,
Apa
hero
enggak?
lineups for sure. The main thing is they have to make their way onto site. So Yay has to be the one to do that, alongside the initiators, Darian and Zest. Talon, of course, looking to shut that down.
Yeah, this is where I think this comp should really shine. I think with the Breach and Gecko combo, this is where you're hoping to really bully some of these tight angle entries to sites, whether it be long B. Oh my God, Talon. Oh, and look at they're aware.
Wow.
They're so aware.
That's what Bleed does. Hanging back, playing it safe.
Great nade.
Big impact. Yay down to 13 HP. Governor sustaining a bit of damage as well. But at least for now, just playing out that time and getting a feel for things. Again, this is what Bleed does. You've got that lurk on Retla towards A.
Love the protocol from Governor there to respond to that fault line with his paint shells perfectly placed. Ye's going to go crazy.
Does pick up the first hit. Tosses
Dapat
some paint
satu.
shells. Here's
Enak
player
nih.
rushing forward.
Udah. Aduh.
Sometimes the serve
Alah.
runs into his open, opponent's
Udah, coy.
crosshairs.
3 lawan 2, udah Relta, udah santai. Tungguin aja temen lu, Cok.
One.
Surviving.
One.
Aduh, tembak wingman-nya dong.
Now Talon in that encounter, they have numbers advantage.
Alah,
Now sticking
untung
the spike plant along with
menang Sperry,
Wingman.
Cok. Dah,
Jitboy's
GG.
not quite able to center
Menang
his
pistolan,
crosshair.
GG, Cok.
It's
Dah.
all down to Cruz. And that starts off, mind you, because of Yay playing it safe and
7-6.
patient.
7 sama. Udah.
Yay with 13 HP.
Terus
He got those two
kalau
kills.
misalkan
Absolutely ridiculous.
kalau menang bonus
Just the little
87,
things.
terus
man.
Iko si
He's got the
Talon
wingman Cruz.
97.
You see,
try.
he thinks that someone is inside a lamp, but they're not there at all. It's shot down now. He's running out of time. Has to go in, but pretty soon it's going to be a big old peek against him. Way too many players to deal with. And just like that, it's going to be Bleed picking up the pistol now. Talon so far today only able to pick up 1 pistol win.
Yeah, it's been very good on the pistols for Bleed. Definitely can swing the momentum, and that's a great shot. And Surf just not expecting him to be tucked into that corner still. There was some cover fire as well.
Nice. Let's go.
Coming from Fountain for Bleed, and yeah, that's what they needed. A little bit of smiles coming in, and see if they can do some more damage. or if the ecos, those classics, thinking about another teleport here. Yeah, they're just gonna bully you their way through. And they're watching it.
Was that a tag onto Scary?
Look at that toxic screen.
Interesting. Yeah, exactly. It's that we've seen this toxic screen before, but the way that they're using it to go through the teleport all the way across the map, back up and wow, around the world in what, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's just great. I like what they try. I mean, this is the round where you can kind of mess around with some goofy ideas like that. You know, just see if it works. Who cares?
Scary's just like getting hit by a toothpick. Is like, what?
Yeah. Who flung that at me?
Doesn't matter. He goes in for the execute. Jit Boys, though, with a double classic. Not too bad. Good bit of damage against Bleed. Just a bit of an execute. A raw one. And although they didn't manage to get the spike down, it is still Talon Jit Boys and able to do a bit more damage. They picked up the Bulldog now. Down to low HP, but if they can rob some more of these weapons away, that would be not too bad of an exchange. Oh, they're making use of that bench, though. Angle favors Bleed for now.
Bisa menang ini Jit Boys. Gak bisa sih.
Go back in. He knows that they're stacked up on top of each other. Over to blind fire, so it's easy for Retla just to cut him down. Ties up the score for Bleed 7-7.
Yeah, not bad though, really, for Talon. The kind of kooky ideas, you know, sort of pay off. Not in the way you would expect. You know, you're hoping to maybe catch him coming out of that TP or catching them trying to go for the A site. And instead they're able to just kind of set themselves up into you all Bleed, contest it, makes a go of it. Jit Boys found those two big classic kills. That's where most of the damage is done. Now Bleed, one Vandal, couple other guns, a real mixed bag in terms of the arsenal that Bleed is going to be wielding this round. Flash, gonna get some information, but you don't really know. Now with all that utility, you know there's at least three.
That's the go signal. Just getting a bit more information, dives in, picks up the alt orb. He's now one away from his showstopper. One kill, and that could be the round for Bleed. Even though it is a mixed bag. Talon, on the other hand, though, just trying to adjust around this. I'm a little bit curious about the off angle that Surf is playing. He does have support from his teammates. The angles are pretty good for now. One teleporter.
A bit risky from Darion. I think they're trying to sell a fake.
Alas ya, boy.
An attempt. Governor takes out the one player. Now they're going in for it along with the wingman. Surf still alive. But it's going to be Cruz who comes up huge with a quick double. Zest able to trade him out, picks up the rifle. Surf still undetected. Fires off a bit of a blind shot and then goes back into tap. Teammates coming out of hookah. They've got each other's back, and Zest caught unaware.
Yeah, so Talon wise to the teleporter.
Woi, cepatlah HyperX shocks.
In the least. Trying to see if he could make some noise, try to map, I suspect, but holding that angle at that toxic screen in that same spot where it was on the eco round. Sigh of relief for sure. That could have gotten a little more dicey than it did. Some good plays, especially by Cruz there. That double kill, huge.
Great anchor.
Yep.
Good protocols coming in for the retake as well, and especially Surf. I mean, still, that was a corner left unchecked.
Now you got both showstoppers. You got the Thrash for Zest, but you have the Reckoning as well for Jit Boys. So a lot of good retake options for Talon, a lot of good entry options for Bleed. So sort of a tic-tac-toe game here, it feels like, where, you know, who's going to be able to catch who? If Bleed can catch some of the Talon players with their execute potentially, they could really break this round open. Talon, if they're able to dodge it, they could play for a really nice setup on their retake. You know, use that Reckoning into the showstopper to get that info, get a good placement on it. Oh, here we go.
Wow. Governor's going in for it. That's the first piece, the first tick. And then Ye comes back in for the attack. Thrash being sent out to get a little bit more space. Governor very aware, but he spotted out Scary. Able to swing out wide. Knocks out Scary's head with the left hook, and it's going to be now Ye spotting him, while Governor has his option to route back towards A short. The rest of Bleed stuck inside of the lamps, and just trying to hold off some of these angles. Wingman goes back into showers. Oh, but the timing on the peak. Yay, still able to hold down his angle. Now back in to support the rest of the team. Talon has to push up together. Timing has to work out in tandem. Oh, it's gonna be the Harbor Cove.
Alah, kok bisa kalah, Cok?
From Cruz. Bit of a blind, and it helps out the rest of Talon as they pick up all these kills. Defuse now coming in. Talon with a 9-7.
I think Jitboys was flashed up, and that Cove came down just in time. But the thing that changed the dynamic of this round was this crunch play with the showstopper from Ye. It's a great start for Governor. Yeah, you lose Retla, not the end of the world. But what hurts is that you've got this crunch play with the showstopper from Ye. You got Scary on the other side, outside of showers. It's Scary in a rare moment of whiffing.
Yeah.
You do not see that very often. That cost them that round.
Not when they know that Governor's on the other side too, especially, yeah. But I mean, credit to Governor for the mechanics and pacing at which he makes these plays happen, especially on the defensive side. I think Bleed starting to anticipate some of these now. They're playing that slow game. Darian holds the angle, catches the first player. Jitboys comes back in to do the same thing.
There we go. That's Pacific Valorant right there. Getting aggressive and playing off angles where your opponents might not expect it.
My goodness.
So good.
If anyone's watching for the first time, that's what we do.
That's what we do here. We are. Although I will say, Lotus looked a little more.
Yeah.
Normal.
No.
A little.
Just a bit.
Mine's been a little bit wild.
It is a smaller map, so teams definitely wanting to get ahead of things. Yay, making use of whatever he has to pick up the alt orb, just whatever little wins that we can pick up. Zest able to retrieve a weapon now.
And a Thrash to deal with potentially, even if you're able to get this plant down. Yeah, you do have an orbital strike.
Oh, I'm worried about time.
Yeah. I mean, I think yep, I was going to say, pretty sure that Mosh is in a good spot to stop it. So now you got to get a player there, get it down. Zest, going to be Johnny on the spot to make the go of it. Yeah.
You got Mosh, you got Orbital Strike, you got Incendiary, the Molly from Scary, and you know he has his lineups. So Talon wanting to get ahead of it, they're pushing up front. Surf with the heads up. To the next. Zest with that rifle is gone now, and Jitboy sticks defuse actually. Able to make it all the way. Scary wasn't in position to pull any of these off, and just wanting to save the utility for a further round. Retla goes further in just to rob some guns away even more. But regardless, a pickup for Talon.
Yeah, it's pretty easy when you've got good mosh pit placements to make sure that the plant isn't comfortable and that you're able to get ahead of what you're talking about. Those post-plant setups that likely Bleed is thinking about in that scenario. No real hope to even find a good opportunity for an orbital strike. You don't want to commit it if the round's already not in your favor in terms of numbers advantage. Definitely would prefer to save it. Operator for Governor, though.
That's right. Wow, peeking down B long. Does not want to give Bleed any legs in this race.
No, absolutely not. And now you've really got to suspect that they're going to be somewhere pretty quickly. They're going to figure it out. They're over on A. Well, Ban ate a lot of that flash, but it's okay. No one was there to punish it.
Yes,
so you know
we didn't see that.
Yeah, no harm, no foul.
None of us saw it.
Get it? Because it's a bird, a foul?
Oh, wow. Good job, favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Dang.
And I can hear Achilleos groaning from the other.
All right. High Tide was sent out. Jitboys, unfortunately, off timing. Retla finds the opening pick. Surf comes back in for a bit of trade. Oh, they're trying to run over. There was that flashlight coming out from Darian, but just a little bit off timing. Now Zest with a bit of positioning, able to catch down on Surf. Re-peeks and catches Cruz.
As a Thrash.
One-on-one. Governor only has an off. Oh no, turns away. There's the Thrash out now. Oh, but it leaves him open. Governor's going in for the knife. Oh, swaps over to Shorty. Zest realizes it a little bit too late.
Like you could stop me.
And just punched and punctured through by the sawed-off shotgun. It's gonna be Talon now, 11-7, 1 point away from that point.
Yeah, and that's I think the inexperience on this agent showing for Zest, where he thinks he has the time to get away with the thrash, and he actually does not. if you're left, yeah, he should. I mean, again, as soon as that thrash came out, like, because my first thought was he has the thrash, but then he pushed the angle, and then he saw the player, and I'm like, now you can't thrash unless you go to short. Unless you go towards the teleporter or something where you give yourself the space to really do that. But in that corner, because it's so fast to rotate through U-Haul.
Just run out with the
Yeah. No, I mean, Governor.
You can't cancel your thrash mid. You have to commit to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why.
Well, you got to do it from a safer spot. Like, and again, that's kind of the newness to that agent, I believe, that costs us there. Where he just doesn't really understand the timings. Exactly. You know, you don't have that internal clock quite built yet.
But otherwise, I mean, again, you know, I want to say it's just Talon also doing a really good job at making Bleed work for their spike plants. Every time that, you know, Bleed tries to go in to capture a bit more space, Talon has these positions, Talon has these utilities where they're able to take down at least one player in that process.
Yeah, they're able to disrupt the wingman, they're able to get a player. It's all of these protocols that they have built into place that are making it very difficult for Bleed. And that round, I thought Bleed had a really good opportunity because even though the Talon was so far pushed out of long B, they should have a ton of info. They should be able to realize that it's A. They gave up a lot of space. They gave up showers control. They gave up the crossfire. So a couple of early kills for Bleed. It looked like they might be able to get it done, but it's the post plants and the, like you're talking about, the disrupting of the plants that are costing Bleed dearly in this half.
That's right. So again, both sides, I mean, feeling a little bit more evenly matched, despite this being Bleed's map pick. Talon able to show us what they've got. You know, whether it's the compositions or players being experienced or not on certain agents, there is a bit of an adjustment period to both sides, and Talon just doing a little bit better on this one. Surf out. Individual mechanics finds the first pick. Ye getting the entry off of Hookah. Cruz has been taken down, and that would be a big pickup for Bleed.
No punish on that TP from Retla. He was pushing towards U-Haul here.
Whoa. Sneaking out. Calls out for Jit Boys. However, Retla does find his own as well. So in for this, it's going to be a 3-on-3. They have to rotate over just quick. Still kind of considering if there might be a double back into A, so Governor stays tucked away. But here comes the hit. Good high tide though. It blocks off so much. They try to peek together as a squad. But look at how Jit Boys just have the angles covered. Perfect.
No, poin gua, Cok.
Harusnya
gua milih Talon.
You can see that there's a little bit of confusion. It's kind of a timing push through that high tide for 1, 2, 3, go. But it's just a little bit off kilter, and Ye also comes out a little bit late himself. So they're not really able to kind of mentally realize that somebody had tucked themselves into that cubby either. And it's things like that just Bleed doesn't seem to really have
coordination.
Yeah, coordination, and also like kind of mental awareness. You know what I mean? Like, those are things that take time. And you can see this is still a little bit of a work in progress for Bleed.
So because it is map point, Bleed with a bit of a half buy, that mixed bag, they're just going in for it. Trying to find what they can, but at the same time, I mean, you've got these ultimates on the side of Talon. Jit Boys has been doing such a good job every time against some of these.
Scary, wake up.
Scary.
Allah.
He's heard it, but, you know,
Allah.
in position to peek out.
Allah.
First. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite work out against Talon, who already did such a darn good job right now. Was committed.
Map 3, brother.
The rest of them assaulting all the way from the back of A short, as well as Heaven on A.
Bleed menang buka baju gue sepanjang match.
Bleed still stuck inside.
Sepanjang match HyperX anjir.
Not quite able to get any spike plans, not quite able to fight back. Ye with nothing but a judge. Shot through, sniped down by Governor. Cruz with a simple shot to the head. And that's going to be Talon Esports soaring and sending us into a third map.
Yeah, looking phenomenal here.
Ala,
both teams taking their map picks away from each other. And
gue malas sih sebenarnya.
I see the ideas of what Bleed wants to do with this comp, with this setup. but the coordination just isn't there yet. And the breach, I'm not so sure about. I didn't see a ton of value out of it with Darion. Again, only a second time. You have a lot of new agents for these players, right?
Yeah.
Yay, second time ever on stage with arrays. First time.
Main TFT aja lah brother. Pubo. Dah males gua matchnya anjir, udah pasti menang Blit. Apa map 3? Apa sih map 3? Map 3 apa sih map 3? Match. Map 3 apa sih? Icebox. Kita lihat ya, menurut teori Icebox-nya Blit itu menang. Icebox-nya Blit itu menang. Lawan Global Esport. Ini siapa yang ngepick? Icebox Blit. Lihat. Coba Talon, kita lihat Icebox lagi Icebox ya. Breeze, Aghann, ban. Ya, berarti menang Blit. Menurut data Blit menang. Udah pasti Blit menang. Udah. Kita main TFT aja. Udah. Kita main TFT aja. Kita main TFT aja. Udah. Sambil nunggu HyperX ya. Sumpah panas banget ya Tuhan ya Lord. Semandi lagi sih, Cok. Panas hawanya. Golden aman of gold, spatula dong. Mau spatula dong. Spatula dong. Udah bahas ini aja lah gua. Yang pasti aja gua mau yang ada. Ini jadinya apa golden?
Such a waste.
Gua pasti aja, brother. Yes. Judulnya Watch Party, NOBAR, Blit Talon. Tapi mainnya TFT, sama-sama Riot sih. Kok agak ngeselin